Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening for those of you joining us from Europe. We are going to start now. Thanks for your patience as we have the audience from North America and Europe here. Today I'm with Lise Halskov. I'm delighted to have once again Lise with us.
Hello.
Thank you, Lise, for taking the time to be with us today. I know you have done a lot of great things with Business Hangouts and your webinars. That's why I asked you to share some of your good advices and best practices with us. So the webinar today is composed of two parts. The first part will be Lise speaking and sharing her experience with us, sharing some slides. And the second part will be me providing an overview of Business Hangouts for those of you who are new to Business Hangouts. So feel free to ask your questions in the chat, and we will have a first Q&A session, a short Q&A session right after Lise's presentation, and another one after mine. And for those of you who have specific questions, stay in the room, and we will bring you into the panel after the webinar for a less formal conversation or any specific questions. So now I'm switching to Lise. Please tell us how you run your webinars and what is the process you're using and what tips and tricks you would like to share with us today.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for having me join you again. I'm a really happy client of Business Hangouts, so it's a pleasure to share some of the experiences I have. Just very, very short. I'm not going to dwell a long time on who I am and what I'm doing, but I will get more into one part of what I'm doing. But most of the stuff I do is centered around putting more structure on the way you work, and that's how you work with clients, but also how you work with online marketing. And I think I'll actually jump over and share my slides right away to share with you the presentation I have for you today, because it will actually explain some of the stuff that I'm doing. You should be able to see my slides now.
Yeah.
What I'm going to share with you is actually, some of it is in Danish, and very few of you are going to be able to understand this, but it doesn't really matter. It's more the thinking behind it that's interesting and might be something that you can use for your own stuff. So what it is a site I have that's called Online Hike, which in Danish means online shark, as you can see on the image on the screen there. And in just a brief explanation, in Denmark, if you're a shark at something, it means you're really, really good. So the tagline for this site is, go from being a little fish to becoming an online shark. Meaning, you know, if you're new to online marketing, I help people know more about this. And I have a membership club, and I have different products that I sell. But the business hangouts I do are weekly shows, but I'll get a little more into that in the next slide. So everything you're going to see are going to be examples from centered around this website that's called onlinehype.dk. And so don't bear with me if you don't understand what it says on the different images, but you will get the idea. So it's a weekly show. I do one hangout a week on average. A couple of times I haven't done them, or I might have two in a week, but I try to do at least one a week. And I've done this since, I should probably add, I've done this, I started it in August, so that was sort of the first hangout I did, and then I've done it even just since that. What I do on these hangouts are interviews or presentations where I invite different online marketing experts into the hangout to either interview them, as I said, or have them present a subject meant for the beginner in online marketing. And it's around an hour each, and I was a little bit in doubt whether you were able to hold people's attention for that long, but it seems like that hasn't been a problem. Let me just see. Yeah, everything is okay, it seems. Okay.
Yeah,
What it is, it's free.
I'm sorry.
Everything's fine, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good. It just looked like you were frozen down there, but maybe you were just concentrating. Cool. So the Hangouts are 1 hour each. It's all free. Nobody gets charged for these weekly Hangouts. And I get around between 20 to 7 viewers live every week, but I have a lot more that sign up, which is the magic and the beauty of this, which I'm also going to talk more about. So you might ask yourself why I'm doing all this free stuff, because it seems like a lot of work. But what I do here is I establish myself as a go-to person to find solid online marketing advice in my market. I collect lots and lots of emails. I can tell you that I haven't done any type of advertising per se. I haven't done any paid advertising whatsoever. And I think now probably around 500 people on a mailing list for this stuff. And that's based solely on the Hangouts I do. So a really easy way to collect emails. My guests do a lot of the promotion, which is also part of the beauty of this. And what you need to remember too is that the YouTube videos bring in a lot of traffic as well, because sometimes people feel that it's a bust if you only have 10 people in your audience. But you got to remember that when the video is out there on YouTube, you're collecting a lot of views, and I do everything I can to leverage the power of that. So that brings a lot of traffic to me as well. And also for me, the benefit is that I get potential buyers for my own online marketing services. By aligning myself with all these different experts, I'm actually showcasing myself as a sort of expert on all these different topics. So it's a great way to do it. And a bonus benefit for me is I learn a lot. I mean, I make sure to invite a lot of experts that I know are really good and know what they're talking about. And every time they come in and present, I learn a lot, which is great. So what I do before the Hangout is, in order to make this a good deal for me, I need to have a lot of systems in place, because this could potentially be something that takes a lot of time. That's usually what people ask me. Doesn't this take all your time to do this weekly Hangout? And it really doesn't. But that's because, and that's my project management background, I guess, I've set up a lot of systems and templates for pretty much everything in order to save time and keep the branding consistent. A favorite tool here, everything I'm going to show you visually in a moment is all done on canva.com. It's a perfect tool for people like me who are not savvy in Photoshop and Illustrator and all this stuff. I don't even know how to do that, but it's pretty easy to do some really cool stuff if you use Canva, and that's what I do. So I have a lot of templates set up that I'm going to share with you in a minute so you can see what I mean. I plan out the interviews 1 to 2 months in advance. Every time I send out a newsletter to this list, the future Hangouts are listed below the actual text of the email. So I get regularly sign-ups like that. But I plan the interviews with people way ahead, so I have things scheduled. And then lately, I've been getting emails from people who would like to be on the show, because it's spreading that I do this weekly show, and a lot of people think it's really fun to be in it. It's kind of like having your own little weekly TV show, I guess. People feel that they're a little bit famous when they appear on my show, which is kind of cool. But so it's not that it's known all over the country or anything like that, but it's starting to spread that people know that I'm doing all these Hangouts. So a lot of people are coming back and reviewing the older videos and all this stuff. So that's great. What I do before the Hangout too, which is a really important part of all this preparation stuff, is I prepare the guests for the show. And that means, depending on how savvy I assume that they are technically, I will run tests with them before so they feel comfortable. I don't always have a hangout beforehand with them, but if I feel that they feel more comfortable doing that, we will do a test hangout the day before so they know what it's all about. What you need to remember, or at least what I have had to remember, is that a lot of people have never been on a hangout before. So all of this is new. So it's all about making your guests be comfortable so they don't freak out, so to speak, when they're online. So you have a good experience with them. So what I've done is I'm just going to show you some examples of some of the templates I've done. I've done it's just a 2-page PDF. I've shown you 1 page here. Really simple stuff that basically just says, dear online shark guest, thank you for joining. You're going to be on screen, so I've collected a couple of tips for you. So it tells them a little bit about, think about which background you have when you sit down in front of the computer. Have extra headsets lying around. If one headset isn't working, it's always great to have planned ahead for that. Check your lighting. Make sure you have good lights. It'll make you look better on screen. And relax. Show your personality. Have fun and just have a good time. And there's a page more that talks about how it's which browsers are better to use and so forth. So just little practical tips, and also that they need to remember to sign into the Hangout with their Google Plus profile. Little details like that just makes it easier for them to sign up and have a good experience the first time they log on. Another thing I've done is that the top banner is a banner I use on all the Hangouts and all the registration pages. I've actually assigned that to the room inside of the business Hangout. You can go in. There are videos explaining how you do this, but in the account you can go in and assign different things to your room. So in this room that I've assigned to these Hangouts, this banner always shows up, so I don't need to do that manually every time. And the bottom one is I always go in and set up Google events for the same thing, so that so I can spread that. So I do a lot of things. I'll get back to that. And then I have a different, another template that I do for every single Hangout. I have this set up in Canva, so the only thing I need to do is I need to change the picture with the guest that I have for the Hangout. I need to change the text to the right, and their name, of course, and the date and the time. And everything else is the same. So you can see when I have the picture of the person, I know what the Hangout is called. It only takes me about 5 minutes to set up this image that I use for invitations. I use it for promoting the event. I use it for all kinds of places. And it doesn't take me very long to set it up because I already did the job once. So I'm actually just updating it every time. So the invitation would typically look like this. You can see it's the exact same template with a different person on the image in the center. And I have the banner on top, and it makes sure that people know exactly, the branding is straight on every time. When you go in and sign up for the Hangout, you know exactly what it is you're signing up for. So really easy, and then I add text underneath, of course, applicable to each of the Hangouts, so that people are interested in signing up for it. So in order to fill up the Hangouts, what I do, I have weekly emails. I actually send 2 emails out to my list every week. I usually send out one in the beginning of the week promoting this week's Hangout, and then I send out another one after the Hangout to make sure that people know that the recording is available. I always put the recording into a blog post, because that's where I put all the different links to whatever links that this person has shared. It could be links to their presentation, so forth. And so I send an email with that. And as I said, always in the bottom of my emails, there's a list of the coming Hangouts, which gives me a lot of signups. Even when I'm not promoting a Hangout, I get a lot of signups for it because people see it on the emails I send out. So that's a great, easy way to get a lot of signups for the Hangouts. I also set up a Facebook event the same way. It's free, and it just gives it a little more attention, that you have more ways of sharing it. It's free. It doesn't take a lot of time to set up that. And the same as I told you on Google Plus, I do the exact same thing, and I share the events and try to make as much fuzz about it as possible. I share it on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Instagram. On Instagram, I'll typically do a photo. I have my mascot on this show is a shark, of course, a big plush shark that I always show in the beginning of the show. So I usually have a funny picture of the shark getting ready for the hangout. And then in the bio of my Instagram account, there's the only clickable link in Instagram will take you straight to the list of Hangouts that I have, so you can sign up for it. And I usually have a lot of people signing up last minute that way because they think it's kind of fun and they want to see what this is all about. And as I said, I have a list of Hangouts on the website, and I make sure to link to that page from a lot of different places so that people can always go and see the coming Hangouts at all times. Also, it's really important here, I always ask my guests to promote the event too. I actually sometimes I'm sneaky and turn it into a little bit of a competition, telling them that this and this person actually managed to get 200 people to sign up for his webinar and his Hangout, and that makes people even more eager to hit that record. So I actually have a little competition almost going. I don't call it a competition, but a lot of people get pretty intense about getting the Hangout filled up, because for them it's a great way to promote their knowledge and their expertise. So it's in their interest too. So definitely make sure that they know in advance, that you set up the Hangouts in advance with them so they have time to schedule how they want to promote their guest on your Hangout. That's rarely possible if you have too short of a notice, because then they might not have time in their newsletters and so forth. But they do a lot of the job in advertising this stuff for me. During the Hangout, the most important thing actually for me during the Hangouts is I always log on half an hour before start just to make sure everything is okay. And then speak with your guests. Make sure they log on, that everything works. I experience time and again that they log on. They haven't sometimes said pushed OK to all the different things they need to say yes to when they log on, and that may take them into the Hangout in a wrong way, so to speak. And so sometimes I need to make them log out again and log in again. And if you start half an hour before, there's plenty of time to do that. And then I just chat with them and make them feel comfortable. Make sure that they know what they're doing. We check that they can share their presentation, that it shows up right. And then I start just writing welcome and chat with the viewers, make them comfortable in writing to you. I've learned that it's really important to make people early on in the Hangout, you want them to write in the chat box, because it seems like some psychological barrier. If they haven't written anything, some people are, I don't know what it is, but they're kind of afraid of asking questions. And it's a really good idea to start out early, log on, go live, talk to them and ask them about all kinds of stuff, where they're at. And I know Darius will tell me that you can see that on the map, which is true, but it's sometimes a really simple, easy thing to ask people, where are you at right now? Which city are you in? And have people write it to you so that they feel that it's that you're actually a real person and you're responding to what they write to you. That's always a great idea. So I always get the chat going as much as I can, because it's my experience that the more they chat in the beginning, the better the Hangout is going to be actually later on.
So if we haven't done this today, let's do it right now.
Huh?
So let's do it right now, since we didn't do it today.
Yes, exactly. Write to me. Write all the messages you want, the answers, comments, questions, whatever. Write everything you like in the comments. It's fun to do Hangouts if people are active in the chat, and it's more fun to be participating in a Hangout where people feel like writing to you. That's at least my experience.
Right.
Then what I do, as I said, I go online 5 to 10 minutes before start. In the beginning I actually did it earlier, but it can seem like a long time to sit there and just chat about nothing, which is a little bit weird. But I usually go online 5 to 10 minutes before start and simply get the conversation going. So I will talk and they will write, and I will sometimes chat with the guest. And they will chat with the viewers too. So everybody's really ready when we start the Hangout. Then what I do once the Hangout is over is the first thing I'll do when the YouTube recording is ready is I'll go over there and trim it, because the first 5 to 10 minutes are not very interesting for other people to see afterwards. So I will go in YouTube, and it's a very clumsy system, I have to say that. But it is possible to trim the recording in there. So I will trim the first like 5 to 10 minutes, whatever long I went online first. I'll trim that away, and then I'll usually trim if there's something at the end that I feel that needs to go away too. I'll trim that, and then what I'll do is I'll upload a custom thumbnail, and I'll show you what that looks like later on. Those are actually possible to do beforehand. A lot of these templates, when I know the title of the show, I'm actually able to create a lot of these images that I need way before. So they're all ready to be uploaded, which makes it really easy. And then what I'll go in to do as well on the YouTube recording is I'll write descriptions with keywords in for each YouTube video, because that also drives traffic. So I will always put the link to the blog post on my website in the YouTube description, so that I try to make people go there to get the different links that are mentioned in the Hangout, because I want the traffic ultimately on my website and not on YouTube. And I also started, I haven't written this down as a bullet, but I've started also doing annotations at the end of each video, asking people to subscribe to my channel on YouTube, because it gives you a better position on YouTube. But I haven't worked a lot with that. I basically have most of the views on my website, but it's a good idea to work with that as well, and it's easy to do. I also create different visuals for the blog posts that I do, so it looks nice and enticing for people to go in and read. If you haven't even noticed that I've done this Hangout, if you come by the blog, you want to it makes you want to go in and read the different blog posts I've done, and I'll show you examples of that as well. And so I embed the YouTube video on the website. I add links and different where to find the person who did the presentation and so forth. And then I promote the video, the blog post, on the same channels as I did before. So I write to my list. I push it out on Facebook, on Google, on Twitter, wherever, Pinterest even sometimes. So I'll use a lot of channels to promote that now the video is up. And then also a thing that's important to mention, if you do this kind of guest show, which is great and a lot of fun, you need to remember to thank people. Even though you thank them when you leave the Hangout, it's a really good idea to send a little mail to them afterwards and thank them, and update them on what's the link to where you can find the recording. For example, they might have forgotten where you want to put the video afterwards. So give them a link so it's really easy for them to promote the recording to their lists. Tell them maybe how many people have seen the video so far. A lot of people get really surprised if there was a small audience, and then a couple days later they might already have 100 views. Because people do go in and watch it. They see it actually live on the Google Plus page I have there. So a lot of people will go in and see it even before it's actually over. So I usually send a little note and thank them for participating and give them an update on what the status is. And people are pretty happy about that. And then also, of course, remember to go in. I do add on all my registration pages that when you sign up for the Hangout, you do sign up for my newsletter as well. I don't think it's necessarily, for me it's obvious, but it's not clear for everybody that you signed up for both. So I've actually started adding 2-3 lines as just as a general rule in the bottom of just before you actually click any of the buttons to sign up. It says that when you sign up for this Hangout, you do sign up for my newsletter as well, but you can unsubscribe at any time you like. Just so if people are completely clear that that's your intention. I haven't had anybody being mad at me, but you never know. So I think it's a good precaution to do that. So remember to go into each of your Hangouts, export your email list, and import it into your email system. So you make sure to catch all these emails. I know you can send emails afterwards automatically through the Hangout system. I actually don't do that because I like to get them imported into my mailing system and get them into the different mails I have there where everything is set up in advance. It makes it easier for me to control. But of course, if you don't have an email list, that's a way to do. But then I have to add, you need to have an email list. But that's a different story. Anyways, what I do every time, I take one quote. This happens to be in English, which is unusual. But I always take one quote out of the whole Hangout that sort of pictures some of what we were talking about. This was something about blogging for business, this Hangout. And I set it up, again, it's a template. I have it already set up in Canva, so I just go in, change the text, change the name, save it, and just download it, and then it's ready to go. And I use this for all the blog posts, and I use that also for promotional purposes because it's a very catchy color scheme, so you notice it on a page with a bunch of different stuff on it. This is what my thumbnails for YouTube look like. Again, they can be, the only thing I need to change is the title and the name of the guest. So they look like this, so if you watch one of my videos, a bunch of these will show up on your right-hand side, so it will be clear right away that there's a bunch of videos of the same kind here. So again, it's to keep my branding consistent, and it's always with the silly shark in the center of it, which makes it pretty easy to recognize. This is what my blog post would look like. I have the big visual. You can see the thumbnail shows up for the video in the bottom, and there's a bunch of bullet points, and you can't see that, but there's a bunch of links under the video with where to find the presenter on Google Plus and different their website and link to slides and so forth. Notice also how I have this this click to tweet. It's a little plugin I have for WordPress where I actually take this, usually the same text I have on the visual, and write it out as a tweetable so that people can basically just click here and tweet it right away. Danes are not that big on Twitter, but it actually, a lot of people, it makes it just easy for them to share. So that's just a small idea. I would do it a lot more in English because a lot of Americans are on Twitter, so I think that would be very efficient for a lot of websites. Easy to do. It just you just basically click a little tweet button, and then in your WordPress editor, and then you write the text, and that's it. Really easy. Also, I always go in and take a little screenshot of the presenter. So that I have a little thumbnail for each of my blog posts, so it's easy to recognize when you just go into and look at my different blog posts, so you can see the different people. These are people that a lot of people in this area of online marketing, they know who they are in Danish, so there's a instant recognizable factor in having their picture on the blog. So that's another little tip. So we're getting to the important learnings that I have done. As you can see, it's a lot about automating a lot of stuff if you want to do this on a regular basis, because if you have to reinvent the wheel every week, this would take days for me to set up, and it really doesn't, because I've automated all the stuff that I can do. But what you need to remember, what I've learned, is I need to coach my guests a lot with all the logistics, you know, the login, the features, how it works, and all this stuff, because for a lot of them, this will be their first Hangout ever. There isn't a lot of people who use Hangouts yet in Denmark. And my experience is I don't think I've had a single guest yet who have tried Hangouts before. So it's new for all of them. So you need to tell them some of the stuff that might be evident for you as a Hangout moderator, but it's not for your guests. So that's important. Have your guests log on at least 30 minutes before start so they get comfortable with the platform. When there is a problem with guests, it's usually something that you can fix. But if they log on 10 minutes before, it's you can get a little sweaty, and which is not a good situation if you want your guests to feel comfortable. So rather log in early and have them leave for a cup of coffee for 10 minutes than stressing around for 5 minutes before start. So that's usually what I do. Also, make sure that you include tech recommendation for the viewers. I've actually changed the text in my invitations, the registrations and the confirmation mails that people get. So now it tells them that it's better for you to use Chrome and Firefox, whereas there can be problems with Internet Explorer, which I've tried a bunch of times, that if they just log in with a different browser, that helps. And also, really, really simple tip, basically, if people have problems, log out, restart your computer, and log in again. And it seems silly, but a lot of times that fixes any problem. So so I usually add that in my invitation template so that so that's all set up. And then also, important thing, relax and have fun, because your audience loves it. I mean, what I've noticed, even when there are technical problems, my audience is very forgiving. I mean, they know that it's kind of it's a relaxed and it's not as formal as some webinars might be, where you sit behind slides the whole time. But here, I mean, I usually switch between me being on camera, the guests being on camera, and people love it because it gets to be a very laid back and fun way you get in touch with people that you respect and know from their the stuff that they are good at, and now you get a chance to basically sit here and chat with them. So it's kind of like almost being in the TV studio with some people that you know. So that's really cool. And then my best advice to anybody who's out there wondering whether you could pull this off, just get started. It's actually just to use that quote that was on there before. It was from one of my guests on the show, that perfect is the enemy of done. Meaning if you sit around, wait for too long for it to be perfect, you're never going to get it out there. Start with a small audience and just get it out there, because it's a lot of fun. I mean, I love this this whole format, because I think it's a great way of interacting with your audience. It puts your face in front of them in a completely different way than when you do audio or when you do blog posts and whatnot. It gets you the opportunity to show your personality in a completely different way. So in my view, it's genius to do this. You can have your own TV show and do whatever you like to do, actually. So those were my words. If you want to get in touch with me, I do actually have a US website as well that's not completely active, but you can catch me there. But the very best way to do it, actually, if you click on my little image on there, you can actually go to my Google Plus profile. And if you write to me that you were on this webinar, this Hangout today, I will make sure to respond back to you and let me know if I can help you. Because I have started consulting a little bit on doing Hangouts, because I think there's a lot of opportunity that is not being used right now. So and that's a pity, because it's fun and it's easy to get started. So get in touch with me if I can help you with anything.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Lise. It was great. While I'm going to bring in a few questions or comments,
Sure.
You may want to put the links that you would like to in the chat, so that the people can more conveniently go to your profile or website or whatever link you would like to share.
Yeah, I'll put a link to my slides on SlideShare, so you're welcome to go there and get them there, and that should have active links to where to find me.
Okay, wonderful. Let's take some questions or comments here. Most of them we try to answer to them, but before doing that, I have a request from everyone. I invite you to write down just one thing that you learned from Lise today. What is the one single thing, the takeaway that that you liked, that it was new to you, and you are going to practice with it? Type in the chat as we're going through the questions. So we had a comment here, or a question. Is this session going to be viewable afterwards? I'm not going to be able, and the answer is yes. You can use the same link that you had to join this webinar to watch the replay. So technically, the video is available on YouTube, and you can manage the settings for that one. And it is also available in Business Hangouts. So if you want to control and have people signing in and get the emails of the whole point with the webinars, of course, then you may keep it unlisted on YouTube and have them in. But I'm going to use my prime time to mention my my takeaway, the thing that I learned is using the webinars as a way to create content, and then once the content, which is a YouTube video, is created, use the YouTube techniques of, for instance, adding labels or subscribe here and SEO improvement in order to generate more traffic for your site. This is something very interesting. So it's a choice that you have. Either you want to have it closed and only provide your content to those who have signed in and collect emails, or being more wild, or depending on the event. Some of the events you go wild and put them on YouTube, and some others keep them private in Business Hangouts.
Yeah.
We have some other questions here. So those who are signing in with...
A lot of people say automate.
I'm sorry?
I saw that people said automate, which warms my heart, because I'm all about that. That was some of the comments that came in on when you said what they got out of it, and that's key, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to catch it. That one, Penny, who is talking about automation. So that's the lesson she learned.
Exactly.
What else do we have? Preparation and templates. That is very similar to the automation, actually, the templates.
Yep.
Prepare in advance of have fun. So the second part, having fun. So you mentioned it several times. Having fun, be relaxed. So that's a very good tip.
But it's so important, because the thing is, if you come across as all tied up and nervous about it, your audience is gonna know that, and not that it should keep you from doing it, but it's just it's a way to make you can show your personality to your audience, which is great. There isn't a lot of media where you can actually do that. So it's basically a question about, I'm having a lot of fun. I mean, in these Hangouts, I have this funny chart, and I have it here. Actually, I'll show it to you. This crazy guy is participating in all the Hangouts. So that's the mascot of the show, which when people sign up, they sign on to the show, they say hi to the shark and all this stuff. It's kind of crazy, but it's fun. And that's part of it, that you can actually get away with all this stuff and still do very serious concept, which I think is perfect.
Wonderful. And one last takeaway from Andrew, who is mentioning something similar to what I was saying earlier, using the YouTube promotion facilities in order to promote
Yeah.
your stuff.
And it's important to go in because when it's uploaded to YouTube, there isn't anything there. It does catch a couple of automatic keywords, but the keywords that you want to be found on for your content will not be in there unless you put it in yourself. And so if you want to be visible on YouTube, which you do, of course, you need to put in a good description, a good title, and some good keywords, because that will make you rank better in YouTube and ultimately in Google. So that's important.
We have a question for you from David, who is asking to elaborate a bit more on your best practices in regards with audience recruitment and retainment.
Yeah, I mean, basically recruitment, it consists of, I have a lot of people who come back, which is the retainment part, I guess, which is absolutely wonderful, and I'm actually humbled that people want to spend time with me 1 week per 1 hour per week, because that's basically what it is. But I've had some really nice emails from viewers telling me that they can't always participate live, but one of them have actually set aside time every week to sit down with a cup of coffee and look at the videos from this week's Hangouts, because the content is that good. And it's basically because I select the experts that I invite from my own knowledge of people who really have something to add in this field, and so I make sure that the quality of the content is really, really good. And that's, of course, key. I mean, if you sit down and chat for an hour, you need to have a really sparkling personality in order to make that work every week. But if you really deliver good content, you will be able to get people to come back. And it spreads, because once you have people signed up for this, they will share your invitations for the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And as you build up your email list, I can send out invitations to 500 people every time. And of course, 500 people don't show up every time, but they share it on Facebook, they share it on Google Plus, and so forth. So I get new people coming in every time. And then again, I mean, these guests that I have, when they invite their audience to come join us, I get some of their people on my list too. So it spreads.
Great. Wonderful. All right, so thank you for also the Q&A session. We have 15 minutes left in our 1 hour webinar. So I'm going to be short. I'm going to share less slides than usual, and but again, feel free to ask questions about Business Hangouts and a few slides. So I'm going to. I was initially planning to have a full overview. I'm going to show some of the slides. Right now I'm using another feature, which is the slideshow feature, showing the slides side by side with the viewers. Another option that you may want to try. And in terms of a company and implementation, we're based in the US and in Europe. Small team, growing, and focused on visual live collaboration technologies with all sorts of customers, from individual users up to large Fortune 500 customers. Here's a comparison between different webinar tools, some of the different webinar tools that you can see here, where one of the advantages of Business Hangouts, thanks to the Hangouts technology and the YouTube platform, is that you can have up to thousands of users, viewers simultaneously in your webinars with the webcast plan. You can have up to 15 simultaneous stream audio and guests talking at the same time. Or switching immediately at the same time, which is much more than other platforms which exist. An open API environment and compatibility of Business Hangouts with other apps in the Google environment, which is very rich actually, and a very affordable plan compared to other existing solutions out there. Here's actually a more detailed comparison to one of the most popular tools, which is GoToMeeting, where you have different plans in GoToMeeting as we have in Business Hangouts. And this slide gives you a comparison where for each plan, basically, you have more at a lower cost. And this is just a paper comparison. It doesn't mention all the benefits of the quality of the video, the fact that video is omnipresent, unlike in older tools where the video is not that much used. It's not designed that way. So it makes you, it creates webinars where you are felt closer to your audience compared to some of these older solutions. And for those of you who are using Hangouts or Hangouts on Air and wonder how Business Hangouts is positioned compared to Hangouts and Hangouts on Air, if you look at Hangouts, it's good for small private meetings, and Hangouts on Air is great for large public meetings. And the area where you have private and large is not covered by neither of these products. So that's where Business Hangouts is used. When you have more than 15 people or more than 10 people for free accounts on Gmail, and you need that to be private, Business Hangouts becomes a must. And of course, once you have Business Hangouts, it doesn't mean that you would not use it for private and small or large and public. Someone was asking, can I do run public BHOAs with Business Hangouts? The answer is yes, of course. You can do public or private as you wish. Some other benefits for Google Apps users. So this one is specifically for Google Apps users. It typically extends the capacity of the meetings from 15 persons to almost unlimited. It brings privacy to those large events. Another difference or value added by Business Hangouts is that you can set it up as self-registered meetings and not relying on Google Plus invitations, which are not always the most reliable in order to invite someone into a meeting. So Business Hangouts is designed to be email-centric, and everything, all the interactions between the host and the viewers are through emails, invitation, confirmation, follow-up emails, reminders, all that goes through emails. And of course, it's integrated with Google Apps still. You can put this in your calendar, and there are functions and features in the tool in order to help you doing that. Letting non-plussers to join. We have today, I see people from signed in from Facebook. We had even more people earlier from Facebook, and of course the majority of Google Plus, because there are a lot of Google lovers, including myself here. But Facebook and LinkedIn are alternative sign-in possibilities. See who is watching. Someone was asking today, can people watch anonymously? The answer is no, and that's the whole point with Business Hangouts. You don't want people to watch anonymously. But if you want, you can always go public and let the post be on your Google Plus page, and they can watch anonymously. But 99% of Business Hangouts users like to know who is watching and capture that information, either for purpose of marketing and lead generation, or for the purpose of interaction and the quality of interaction when it is in the e-learning or education environment. The unified chat is a powerful tool which not only allows you to chat in a heterogeneous environment with Facebook sign-ins and LinkedIn sign-ins and Google Plus sign-in all together in one chat. That's one thing, but also bringing messages, as I have done uh, 5 minutes ago to the screen and get it recorded, or doing a drag and drop of a file into the chat and use it as a repository for this event, which can go beyond the live event. Remember that you can activate pre-event and post-event and keep this event as an environment for learning a subject. And then, when you drag and drop files into the chat, they stay there. So when someone comes during the replay, unlike a plain YouTube replay, here they can access to the content that you have shared. They can access to the links that you have shared, but also the documents that you have available for download. And then the shared content, which allows you to share videos, polls, quizzes, surveys that you can create with Google Forms or other SurveyMonkey or other external tools that you can use that. Unfortunately, you don't have a lot of time, so I'm not going to show them today, but you can see that in our documentation and other videos there for examples. This slide talks about those who use Hangouts on Air and stay in the functional limits of Hangouts on Air, assuming not even using these features that I was mentioning. Even for those users, Business Hangouts is all in one box with all the tools together. For instance, the lower thirds are automatically generated, as you can see with our guests. For instance, Lise's lower third is automatically generated, or Guillaume's lower third is automatically generated. That's just an example of helping you going faster and not being obliged to learn yet other third-party tools in order to run your events. This is an example of a shared video that you can see, which is not possible in Hangout on Air, but in Business Hangouts you can do that since it doesn't get recorded into the YouTube video. And this example could be any call to action, could be an e-commerce button to buy something, could be a call to action to take a survey, as I mentioned earlier. These are the functions. Pricing and features. I'm going to detail a little bit this one. So basically, you have the standard free plan, which gives you the basic Hangouts features with the planner, where you schedule your event, the unified chat, moderation and control, 3D maps, import, export, everything, limited to 20 people, which does not have the customization features, which is the second line of this table, where you have the shared content, the branded emails and reminders, and the technical support, access to the very helpful private community for technical support, where we answer all questions typically 24/7 in less than 2 hours. That's what we have been doing. And of course, our precious community of users who contribute highly in that technical support. And the third line is about privacy. So if you want private meetings, you need the business plan. So this second plan, which is a pro plan, does allow you to go up to 100 attendees and does allow you to have custom emails. It basically have a lot of features. The only feature it doesn't have is the private business Hangouts. So business is the most popular premium plan that we have, but we also have, since a month now, the webcast plan, which allows you to go above 200 simultaneous attendees with the whole, with the chat and everything. We mentioned the privacy, with all the benefits of Business Hangouts. This is a new plan which is very interesting and very powerful. Again, compared to other systems, it's very affordable for a tool which allows you to have 6,000 people um, at the same time in a room. What else do we have? We have everything we mentioned is in self-service environment. If you have events that you want us to run for you, we have that service as well. It's called Managed Services. So you can go to the website and ask for a code for one of your important upcoming events, and we can code it for you and run it for you, so that you focus on the content and we push the buttons for you somehow. This is very practical when you start with Business Hangouts and you start with big events or important events, strategic events for your business. You don't want to miss them, but you don't have the experience and the best practices, for instance, those that Lise mentioned today yet. So we can help you running that for you. Type of events that we can run for you are conferences, customer days, with different sessions, breakout sessions in parallel or in sequence, trade shows, etc. So we also have the 3D virtual events, which allows you to have a post-event networking in a 3D environment with avatars that favors a lot networking, exchanging business cards among your participants. So if you have something which is more community-based, or you want to favor that networking, you may call us for that type of events organization. With that, I'm going to turn to the chat for some more questions that we can take. Let's see if we have some other questions here. We have Brooks, Carter. Thank you for the comment here. The comparison with older tools. All right, so let me also drop for those who are interested in managed services. Here's the link if you need a code for one of your events. And for those of you who have not registered with us and don't have an account, and here's the link for features and pricing, and which also takes you to the subscriptions. So you can start with a free subscription and upgrade later, or directly with a premium subscription, depending on your needs. So I don't see any other question. Am I missing anything, Guillaume, or are we good?
No, I think you went through the main questions here.
All right. Anything else to add, Lise, before we leave?
No, thank you for having me, and thanks for you guys for asking questions and commenting all this great stuff. I'm really thrilled to be part of this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lise. Thank you for your time. We really enjoyed it, and I see that the audience also enjoyed it a lot. So we are going to stay here. I'm going to stop the broadcast, and the recording will stop. But we're going to stay here. So let us know in the chat if you want to join us in the panel and have a less formal conversation and chat. So thank you again. Bye bye, everyone. Bye.